to be desired away than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb.
You may be seated. I haven't known today's speaker for very long, but we've connected instantly. I have the most confidence that she is going to do amazing. And if I've learned anything about her, it's that she always brings something unique to the table, and I'm not expecting anything less for today. It's time for a little bit of honey, and our teacher is Anna Rose, and her title is Behind the Mask.
Amen. Currently, our world is going through a pandemic with the coronavirus. Everyone has been required to wear a mask. As a nurse, I used to wear only a face mask at work, but now I wear one everywhere. The face mask debate is controversial. People have differing opinions, but having to wear a physical mask made me think of the term masking. In psychology class, I learned that masking basically means to appear one way when really feeling another.
All right.
The site Psychology Today explains it best by saying, we excel at wearing masks. We fool our friends, our colleagues, even our loved ones with the various masks that we wear.
That's right.
More often than not, we avoid expressing who we really are and what we really think because we want to fit in, gain approval, and importantly, try to minimize conflict. We wear masks to put out the impression or illusion of a more perfect life, having the right job, car, house, spouse, clothing, and so on. We hide behind labels, titles, and money. Our real identity is covered up by the false identity of our possessions, roles, actions, and words. Our ego traps us in this artificially staged world, all out of our perceived need for acceptance.
That's right.
We wear masks because we fear others will see who we really are. We need to protect ourselves from their judgment and emotional assault, fearing we will expose our weaknesses, fearing we won't be good enough, fearing we won't belong. Which brings me to the question. While we currently have the physical face mask that I'm sure we've all bought, how many of us have been wearing a figurative mask to church?
Come on.
How many of us have been concealing how we feel and not worshiping in church because we didn't want to seem broken or like we didn't have everything together? We didn't want to be weak, so we sat on the church pew and didn't ask to be prayed for. We didn't come to the altar, and we appeared perfectly fine.
Come on.
I can only speak for myself, and I'll admit that I've done this numerous times. I've been in church my whole life. I've never known a week where Sunday didn't mean go to church. I've always had everything I needed and most of what I've wanted. When people look at me, they see my outward mask. They see someone in church. They see the clothes I wear in my car. What they don't see is the depression I have, because that's something I don't like anyone to know about. They don't see how broken I sometimes feel inside, or how I sometimes cry when no one is around, because my outside says, I'm happy, I'm in church, and
That's
I'm
right.
together. And sometimes the fear of showing how I really am has prevented me from participating. I've sat many times on a pew and bit my tongue to hold back tears. I didn't want to look broken. By not reaching out and participating in the service, the only person I've hurt has been me. I've always heard that church is a hospital for the broken, so why would I pretend to be together in one piece when I'm anything but that? 1 Peter 5:6-7 says, Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. By removing our masks, we are humbling ourselves in front of God and the people around us. We are removing our pride and allowing ourselves to be submissive to the Holy Spirit. A great example and my favorite story is demonstrated in Luke 8:43-48. Verse 43 reads, And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stanched. And Jesus said, Who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? And Jesus said, Somebody hath touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone
That's
out
right.
of me.
Come on.
And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith made thee whole. Go in peace. The woman with the issue of blood was isolated. She was seen as unclean, and no one wanted to be around her for more than likely the fear of catching her condition. I don't know about you, but being alone all the time and knowing it was because of a health condition I couldn't control would have destroyed me. It would have hurt and embarrassed me, but I would have masked those feelings by appearing fine and being alone.
That's right.
The woman with the issue of blood faced 12 years of being quarantined, 12 years of judgment, and 12 years of scrutiny until she decided to humble herself and remove her mask and go out in front of everyone. She made up her mind that nothing, not even her internal battles, were going to stop her from her healing.
Amen.
Right.
The woman with the issue of blood chose Jesus.
Yes.
She removed her mask and was desperate
That's
to
right.
touch his hem.
Jesus.
Her desperation and faith was enough to heal her. And with looking further into this story, something I'd never thought of was that the woman with the issue of blood did this in front of a crowd of people.
Yes, come on.
With everyone looking at her, she showed her true self and didn't attempt to mask anything. Sometimes our acts of faith and the things God is bringing us through or has brought us through need to be shared.
That's
Yes.
right.
With displaying our true selves and not being afraid of concealing our battles, the more likely other people will also be willing to remove their masks and reach out. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of